How we doing, people? I've wanted to do this series of videos for a while now, and what it is it's how to play D&D for free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bunch of videos about different systems you can play, different adventures, settings, and try and get it in a position that somebody can find a game that they like that fits their group, get it for cheap or free, and start running a game without getting too caught up in the idea of not running. Because I think that we get in our own way, and we think that we need everything, we need to buy everything in order to do it, but we just don't. So I've got 4 games today that I'm going to put in front of you. You guys can pick which one you like. I've set a criteria here, not just free PDFs, because there's loads of games there where you can get the PDFs for free. The criteria I've put aside here is you can get the PDFs for free and the actual a paper copy in your hand for less than £10, which immediately narrows the field, because there's amazing games out there that people give the PDFs away for free, or they'll give you the PDFs without the art. Well, for me personally, if I'm learning a game, I don't just want the PDF. I want the book in my hand. I want to be able to feel it. I want to be able to smell it. I want to absorb it through paper. And if I'm playing at the table, I don't want to be looking at a PDF. I want to have a copy of a book. And ideally, I'd like my players to have copies of books. So that is what I wanted. I didn't want you to have to buy a monster manual and all the other stuff and have to spend a load of money. So that narrows it down. I'll start with the first one. So we're going to go from old school, we're going to go to new school, and then I'm going to throw Old Swords in at the end. So White Box FMAG. This game's awesome. It's based on the original White Box D&D, which is super cool. It only uses D20s and D6s. It's very, very old school, but it's simplified. So you only have one saving throw as opposed to all of the old school saves. Saving throws are different if you're coming from 5e. So in 5e, your saving throws are based on your stats. In old school D&D, they're not. You just have different saving throws that apply in different areas. But this only has a singular one for each class. Thieves skills are simplified with a D6. You've got all your monsters, all your spells. It's very deadly. Clerics don't get a spell at first level. And what else have you got on here? Yeah, and there's an optional thief class, because the original White Box D&D didn't have a thief class. That came in the later supplements. It's a beautiful game. I really like it. I think it's gorgeous. I think the artwork, the layout is really, really cool. Currently, you can pick this up. Let me have a quick look on Amazon. So UK prices, you can pick this up for £5.24. It's nothing. It's 144 pages, nice little digest size, really cool game. But most importantly, with all of these, you can get the PDF for free. Have a look, see if you like. Next game, Basic Fantasy. This is the latest 4th edition, which is no longer part of the OGL and is now Creative Commons, which is the direction I want to go in. I've literally got everything that Basic Fantasy have ever put out behind me. I love it. I love the game. I love the community. The system has 4 classes in it. There's loads and loads of options that you can get from their sites. It's more, these are kind of like the first 2 games are old school games, or kind of like retro clones. So this has the 4 classes. It has all your spells, all your monsters, everything you need to run a game is in there. And it's an all-round great game. There's instructions on how to run a game in there, and it has the old school saving throws. Again, if you're coming from 5e, this isn't just a singular saving throw. You have things like Dragon's Breath, Poison, that kind of thing, which for me took a little while to get used to. But overall, it's an amazing game. Great community, fantastic book. It is your kind of like A4-ish size, I'm guessing, and currently you can pick up a copy of that on Amazon for £6.25 for an entire game, which is amazing. Before I do Old Swords, I'm going to do one which most people don't know about. 5th edition D&D. 5th edition D&D, you can get the basic set for free in PDF. But my requirement was also you needed to be able to get it in print. And you can. Most people don't know this game exists. This is literally the basic edition of D&D, the 2 separate books, which is one for a D&D, one for DM, and one for your players. And you can get it on Lulu. So this book, when you see, there's no images in it at all, and you can see kind of like there's an edge there. It literally is just the PDF being put into a book. You've got 4 classes. it is the basic version of D&D. In many ways, or 5e, in many ways, I actually think this is the best version of 5e. I might actually do a separate video on why I think this is the best version of 5e, certainly for new games and new players. People will probably disagree with me, but it doesn't have the bells and whistles, and I think that makes it a better game. But you can get this currently on Lulu. If you search for it, from Mike Miles, one of the authors, and it's £6.30. You'd need to add your postage on that. So I would say you'd probably get that in America, I'm guessing, for less than $10, and it's US letter size. So we've had super old school in white box. We've had somewhere in between, like a modern revisioning of D&D and Basic Fantasy, and we've had 5th edition. Last one is Old Swords. You can pick this up entirely free on our sites. There's be links to all these books below. Old Swords is not a retro clone. Retro clones are generally based on old school D&D, and then that's it. Not that that's it, but they're based on old school D&D. This is based on 5th edition, but it's been reimagined with an old school mentality. So it's deadlier, it's faster, it's a lot easier to run, a lot easier to learn. There's a huge amount of options in here. We've got a very young community, but we're trying to build more. And I think it's a really cool game. I'm biased because, like, it's mine. But it's, if you want to play, if you're going from 5th edition to an old school game, I think it's a really good choice because it's not so much of a leap. Everybody will know where things are. But the main difference are it's going to be a little bit faster, a little bit deadlier. There are options in here for things that you don't really pay attention to in 5th edition, like traveling and stuff like that, and survival, and there's instructions for things like how to do a dungeon crawl, because that kind of fell out of fashion. But again, with all these books, I'm not saying which is best or which is worst. I've got my preferences, but I do like all these games. I've had a lot of fun playing 5e. I love all these games. It's my game of choice currently. Well, it is my game of choice, but it doesn't matter what you like. You can get these PDFs for free. You can read them for free, and then you can order whatever one you fits. It's not going to have any impact on the future videos that I do, because hopefully they'll be compatible with whatever system you're running. And yeah, I think you can get all 4 of those books for like 24 quid or 23 quid, which is cheaper than just a singular player's handbook. So, or you can find the one you want, and you can get copies for cheaper than a player's handbook for you and everyone at your table, which is kind of cool. So yeah, next videos are going to be based on some free adventures. So I'm going to do some free adventures, then I'm going to do my favorite free setting, and that will pretty much be all you need to do to get up and start running games without any hassle. I'm going to expand the series though as we go forward and add more stuff like not just free games, but also kind of cheap ones, things that I think are worth an honourable mention, that you get a lot of bang for your buck, and do some world building and that kind of stuff if people want to go down that direction. But yeah, hopefully this will be a long series on how to play D&D for free, or really, really cheap at the least. And yeah, if you play any of these games, drop below. If you've got any other suggestions for free games, drop them below as well. And yeah, I will catch you in the next video. Take care.